identify with the youth of Nigeria, to say to them that their dreams and aspirations matter.
She further urged the beneficiaries to take their studies seriously as their GPA will be taken into consideration in subsequent years. The First Lady also encouraged them to take on vocational skills.
Most of the recipients of the scholarship scheme I've had in the past, I encourage them to learn a trade. Okay? Learn a trade. Even I'll give you an example. One of my girls who is a medical doctor from Borno State, when I first met her, I asked her, Fatima, what can you do? She said, I can plait hair. She does that in the campus. That is extra money for her.
The Renewed Hope Initiative Director of Education, Professor Hafsat Ganduje, in her remark, identifies intervention in education as one.
With its scope covering 5 major areas, which comprises of agriculture, education, health, economic empowerment, and social investments. Today's event, which marks the maiden National Scholarship Award by the Renewed Hope Initiative to newly admitted students of Nigerian federal and state universities and other tertiary institutions, falls under the scope of education.
The inaugural National Scholarship Program of the Renewed Hope Initiative is a 4-year scholarship program of 1 million naira per year and a laptop for each beneficiary. The ceremony was attended by Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Betta Edu, and Minister of State for the FCT, Maria Mahmoud.
The Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has demanded a shorter transition from the junta in Niger. The chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, President Bola Tinubu, told the Ulamas during a meeting on Thursday that the 3-year transition proposed by the military leaders was unacceptable to the regional body. The Ulamas had held a meeting with the Niger junta in a bid to avert military intervention to restore democracy in the Francophone country as planned by the ECOWAS. During their interface, the junta leader, General Abdurrahmani Chani, had indicated an interest in holding a dialogue to resolve the political impasse resulting from the ouster of President Mohamed Bazoum in the July 26 coup. They also asked the Ulamas to prevail on Tinubu to restore electricity, which was cut off from Niger as part of sanctions imposed by ECOWAS. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu says that he takes a cue from no nation, but will only advance the interest of the Nigerian state in his approach toward ECOWAS's handling of regional standoff, particularly in the Niger Republic. A statement by the presidency on Saturday indicated the president received an invitation to a sideline event at the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, in New York from the U.S. President, Joe Biden. Tinubu was also said to have advised U.S. Presidential Envoy and Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs, Ambassador Molifi, to ensure that U.S. policy is intentionally collaborative with independent African democracies at a time where they are under assault by anti-democratic forces within and outside of the continent. The president noted that American-backed development finance and multilateral institutions, which were designed to support war-torn Europe after the Second World War, require swift and comprehensive reform to meet the development requirements of younger democracies in Africa, which operate in authoritarian, crowded environments, would no longer be manipulated to serve self-seeking demagogues through unconstitutional takeovers of power. The release of huge volumes of water from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon has made states along the path of River Benue in Nigeria brace up for possible flood disasters in their various domains. To prevent deaths and other disasters associated with floods, states are likely to be affected have asked the residents of the flood-prone areas to vacate such communities. According to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA officials, no fewer than 11 states, including Adamawa, Taraba, Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, Anambra, Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, and Cross River, are likely to feel the negative impacts of the opening of the dam. The states on Sunday advised such residents to leave the areas to avoid impacts of human lives and valuable assets. It was gathered on Sunday that Cameroon informed the federal government that it would soon open its Lado Dam. Director of the African Affairs, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Umar Salisu, said in a letter dated August 2023 that the ministry received a note from the High Commission of Cameroon as regards the opening of the dam. Center for Transparency Advocacy, CTA, has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to adopt essential technology and address challenges related to the uploading of election results. The Election Observer Group made the call during the public presentation of CTA's reports on the 2023 election titled Public Perception of INEC and the Conduct of Elections in Nigeria, a Comprehensive Survey. Executive Director of CTA, Faith Wandishi, at the event noted that stakeholders have differing viewpoints on whether or not INEC had conducted free, fair, inclusive, and credible elections since Nigeria's return to democracy. She also called for an increased involvement of civil society organizations in educating citizens during electoral processes to contribute to ensuring credible future elections. Let's take a look at business now. The food, textile, and 24 other sectors of the economy have lost over 1 trillion naira in the second quarter of 2023. This is as 26 sectors of the economy shrank in Q2 based on an analysis of the gross domestic products GDP data from the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics (NBS). The sectors that shrank in Q2 2023 were fishing, crude petroleum and natural gas, cement, food, beverage and tobacco, textile, apparel and footwear, wood and wood products, pulp, paper products, non-metallic products, basic metal, iron and steel, motor vehicles and assembly, other manufacturing, construction, accommodation and food services, road transports and air transports. Other sectors that were negatively impacted in Q 2023 were posts and courier services, publishing, motion pictures, sound recording and music production, arts, entertainment and recreation, financial institutions, real estate, professional, scientific and technical services, education, other services, metal ores and plastic, as well as rubber products. The decline in economy activity had been tied to recent economic reforms, which have been predicted to cause some discomfort in the short term. The removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of exchange rates have hit businesses negatively. According to the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, manufacturers have been forced to cut jobs due to the current harsh economic environment and reduced productivity. The Energy Commission of Nigeria, ECN, has called for collaboration among stakeholders and government officials in policy making to enhance national energy efficiency and conservation. Acting Director General of the ECN, Joseph Sunday Olayonde, highlighted the importance of these collaborative efforts during a workshop focused on industrial energy efficiency, capacity building and training to government energy policy makers and regulators in Nigeria. He said that this collaborative approach aims to strengthen national industrial energy efficiency policies and regulatory frameworks, fostering the adoption of energy management system standards across Nigeria. A representative from the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, Oluyomi Banjo, recognized energy efficiency's potential to optimize energy security and highlighted the organization's commitment to collaborating with Nigeria to achieve efficiency benefits. You're watching Global TV News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. When News Cycle returns, federal government vows to end crude oil theft. We'll be back after this break with these and other stories for you. Do stay tuned. This is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of News Cycle from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The federal government has vowed to put an end to the crude oil theft and economic sabotage in the Niger Delta region. Minister of Defense Mohammed Badru made this known when he led a high-powered federal government delegation to the area. Kikelamo Okere reports that the visit was barely 24 hours after the inspection of the Port Harcourt refinery and petrochemicals complex to assess startup readiness by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Permanent Secretary of Petroleum Resources, and the NNPCL Limited, led by the Group Chief Executive Officer, Mele Kyari.
Briefing newsmen shortly after the tour, Badaru says the delegation was sent by President Bola Tinubu with the charge to stem crude oil theft in Nigeria. He says the delegation observed illegal connection costing the country millions of dollars losses, adding that the losses were part of the reason why Nigeria could not meet OPEC quota. Corroborating Badaru, Group Chief Executive Officer NNPCL Mele Kyari says the damage of one location in Abia State was costing Nigeria a loss of $7.2 million, over 5 billion naira per month. NNPCG CEO noted that while all theft in vessel could be tracked, the host community must play a vital role in curbing oil theft within their communities where oil facilities are situated. According to the Chief Security Officer of the Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, arrests have been made and some culprits have been prosecuted. After a ground assessment of illegal connection points and destroyed illegal refineries, Nigerian Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu applauds the role of the government security forces, community security contractors, and NNPCL in stepping up the fight against crude oil theft and economic sabotage that profits only a few citizens, he rightly labeled as criminal and bandits. The joint participation of the Minister, the National Security Advisor, service chiefs, oil and gas industry regulators, the NNPCL leadership underscores the unity of purpose among various stakeholders to combat the large-scale economic sabotage holding the entire country to ransom. Kikelamo Okere, Global Television News, Abuja.
For an update of sports, let's now join Sharon Ajay.
Spanish Football Federation President Luis Rubiales has been suspended by FIFA for the next 90 days from all football-related activities at national and international level following Jenny Hermoso's kissing incident. FIFA is currently investigating allegations that the 46-year-old president kissed a female star player without her consent. Rubiales, who has refused to resign after the incident following Spain's Women's World Cup final win over England in Sydney, says he fully trusts FIFA and reiterates that in this way he is given the opportunity to begin his defense so that the truth prevails and his complete innocence is proven. This statement comes after the Spanish Football Federation says Rubiales would legally defend himself. In a different development, Nigeria unfortunately will have no team in the CAF Champions League next season following the eliminations of Enyimba and Remo Stars in the first preliminary round of the competition on Sunday. Nigerians will have to watch the CAF League as neutral as Enyimba crushed out against Al Ahly Benghazi of Libya, while Remo Stars were eliminated by Mediama Sports Club of Ghana. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
And that's it on Global TV News Cycle. Thank you so very much for watching. I am Uyi Agmofwegbe. I'll see you soon.